Give him an extra 2 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Does that mean I need to tell 2 jokes today?
Yes, we missed one last week.
All right. Well, so this pirate walks into a bar wearing a paper towel wrapped around his head. Walks up to the bar, gets a drink. Bartender brings it over to him and says, he says, it's none of my business, but I'm just curious, why do you have a paper towel wrapped around your head? And he says, "Arg, I've got a bounty on my head." Sorry.
That was good.
All right. And the other one is, how much does a pirate pay for corn? A buccaneer. All right. Sorry for those. I learned those in Tampa when I was down there last week. But no, I'm glad to see everybody today. There are some cool things coming up. I know certainly with Listing Concierge, if you haven't heard about those, with YouTube and some of the hits that they're guaranteeing, and showing your listing and getting the listing out there and getting them sold. So really cool stuff. And I think over the last couple of months, the company has done a great job of actually getting rid of some tools. So we've pared down things. It was at a point where if you signed on, it was like hooking up to a fire hose and just turn it on full blast. And there was no way to really be able to digest everything that they were throwing at us. And so they've pared some of that stuff down. They looked at things that weren't being used. And they've gotten rid of them. So I think it's going to make all our lives better. Certainly Brittany's, there'll be less that she has to try to learn and train everybody else on. But the things that we do have are the most powerful things. And I know Brittany does a fantastic job each week of talking about those at work and helping you guys learn them and get those figured out so they just, help you sell real estate. So with that, that's really all I have today. If anybody has any questions of me, don't hesitate to put it in the chat, send me an email, text, call me, whatever you want. And I'll let Nick respond to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'll respond to you. All right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Dennis. We appreciate you. We needed those 2 jokes. I will tell you, when I was younger, they used to have that Bounty quicker picker upper commercial. So my mom said for 1 year for Christmas, I wanted a paper towel roll because I loved the commercial so much. So she had to buy me some paper towels for Christmas 1 year.
That's pretty funny.
So that was a good one. I'm gonna have to share that one for sure. So thank you for blessing us with that. Welcome to Tool Time. Happy Monday. Even though we know Mondays suck, I hope that your Monday doesn't suck too bad this morning. I have a couple announcements. Dennis was talking through some of our enhancements with Listing Concierge, so I want to talk about those. And then today, what we're going to actually go through, the tool that I chose is Prospect Square. So I wanted to show you how to get your contacts out of Moxie and into Prospect Square so you could set up the newsletter. You did, Courtney. You missed Dennis's 2 dad jokes. He had to do 2 because he wasn't here last week. So I made him do 2. They're recorded, though, so catch the replay. Oh, you're on mute.
I said I'll send her an email with the jokes.
She'll probably be looking forward to those all day. I feel like that's why people come to Tool Time. So we're going to talk about Prospect Square, how to get your contacts from Moxie Engage into Prospect Square. Also, this would be a great tool for you guys to use with Kim's amazing geofarming tool to put them in here for your newsletter. All the newsletters go out tomorrow, so you actually have one more day today to update your newsletter before it goes out. So just something to think about today to add to your Monday list. Go in there and make sure that you have your Prospect Square newsletter ready to go out and people on there. So if you don't today, you're going to have some because I'm going to teach you how. So without further ado, does anyone have any questions before I pop into what we're going to do on Tool Time today? Anything that's come up? Anything pressing? No? Good. Okay. Well, that means that you guys are just going out there and getting tons of listings, which I love to hear too. So let me share my screen. And first, I want to show you guys this email that came across my desk. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Thank you, Nick. So Listing Concierge update. So for those of you that haven't heard, we have gotten rid of the showcase on the View TV special for the Listing Concierge packages. So I'm not talking about the bronze package because the bronze package did not have the TV encompassed in it. I'm only talking about silver, gold, and platinum. all of those had TV incorporated in them. That is no longer the case. They are now going to YouTube ads, which are amazing. For like the silver package, you get guaranteed at least 1,000 ad views. For the gold, it's 2,000, and for the platinum, it's 3,000 plus. So really great way to get your name out there in front of a bunch of people on a platform where we know that is the second most visited platform in the world, right? Besides Google, it's Google, then YouTube. So keep that in mind. So I just wanted to give you some updates right here. It says agents will now receive an email when the listing concierge coordinator releases the initial proof of their YouTube ad, as well as when the video has been produced and returned to the order. So they're making enhancements as we go. This is a new thing that has been added to the listing concierge platform. So there's going to be enhancements that come along with it. So I just want to keep you guys up to date on the breaking news. Reminder, once the agent hits submit in the LC system, meaning they approve their photos, the URL, and the property description for the YouTube ads, you only have 24 hours to make edits to the YouTube ad. So after that 24-hour mark, the ad will be posted to YouTube with 3 days. So you got to make sure it's exactly what you want when you approve it. And that goes for anything on Listing Concierge, especially like your printed pieces. Once you hit that print button, you can't go back. So keep that in mind when you're going in there and approving them. If you have any issues with anything Listing Concierge, you always get assigned a Listing Concierge coordinator, as well as myself and Connie can both get into your Listing Concierge platform. So if you need help, you can always call me 911. Brittany, I need help with my Listing Concierge. I can log in, I can see your platform, I can see your order, and I can help you. So don't fret. Number 3, we're seeing many ads rejected due to non-working agent websites. This is so important, guys. And I'm seeing that your websites are not correct on your desk profiles. So when we say non-working agent websites, we're not talking about the link that the company is giving, which is like your CB admin profile that we talked about last week. We're talking about your Moxie website. So either your domain isn't hooked up correctly, or you didn't transfer your domain over from your InTouch websites, or you just really haven't done anything in your Moxie website, which is a case for a lot of you. It seems a little daunting, but I promise you that the Moxie website is amazing. And once you get in there and start customizing it, it will be your favorite thing, I promise. So just make sure in your Listing Concierge profile, you have your correct website in there. Otherwise, it's going to take them to the caldwellbankerhomes.com, which doesn't have a lot of great information about you. It's only got your picture and your bio. Whereas if they drop into your Moxie website, they can search for properties, they can sign themselves up on searches. You'll know you're on your website, and it's got everything on there, right? So that's super important. If you haven't updated your Listing Concierge profile, I'm going to show you how to do that today. We need to do that. And then lastly, for the near future, web addresses shown at the end of all ads will be caldwellbankerhomes.com. We've experienced websites being submitted that are too long to fit. So let's just make sure that we're ready for when it launches to your personal website, that it has your correct website on it. So let me show you how to do that. Do we have any questions in the chat before I go live into Listing Concierge? Or any questions at all? No, okay. We're doing good. We're moving along. Okay. So let me go into Listing Concierge. I had Prospect Square ready for you too. So I'm going to scroll up to my Listing Concierge or down and go in here. So your Listing Concierge profile is so important. If you've never been into Listing Concierge, shame on you. You should at least have set up your profile if you haven't had a listing before. Otherwise, you should have your profile and you've been using the platform. So your profile, top right-hand corner where it has my name, I'm going to click My Profile. So this is where I'm going to put my information in, my email address that I want to be shown on all the material. So if you use your CB Realty email, perfect. If you have a Gmail, I know some of you guys have separate emails. Make sure whatever preferred email that you want to show up on your items is here. Same thing with your profile image. Again, if you haven't replaced your photo in like 4 years, it's time. I would even say in 1 year. Make sure you go and update your photo. Phone number, so whatever phone number you want them to call you on, I would say mobile is probably the most popular. Marketing profile right here, so personal marketing logo. So if you have a logo that has that you've done through Design Concierge, or you hired someone to create a logo, make sure you've got that, as well as your designations. It's a realtor. Mine says field marketing specialist because I'm not a realtor. But here's where you're going to put your website. So your website should be your Moxie website. So let's just pretend my Moxie website was www.brittanymoulton.com, right? You want to make sure that that is here. and ready to go or whatever. If you don't have a domain name, you haven't purchased a separate domain name, it's going to be your Moxie website. So you're just going to go to Moxie Works, click on Moxie website, click visit site, and this URL that pops up is going to be your URL. I think it's like your first dot last name at cbmoxiesites.com or something. But make sure that's here. That's super important. Same thing with your social medias. So you can also add your social medias to be linked into anything that's digital. So talk about your ads. We talk about your personal property website. Anything that's digital will be able to have your social media links on here too. So make sure you add those in here. So super important. Same thing with my team. If you were a team, you could come in here and update your team. So like if we have a team on the call, make sure your team is in here. The people that are on your team are in here so that anytime that you guys advertise together, you can have the ability to add them to the advertisement if you need to. So that's really important. Those are the updates from Listing Concierge. They're continuing to see really great enhancements through the year. They're going to look at all the things that we have in the packages. Obviously, this is one of the greatest things that we have in our company, besides Dennis's jokes, of course. But we just want to make sure that these packages are 100% what you guys want in an advertising plan. And we're always going to do our best to make sure that that is what we're giving you. So we are going to have to pivot as things, trend downwards and make sure that we're offering you guys the best that there is out there. So just keep that in mind. They're always going to be enhancing these packages. You're probably going to see some more changes to these packages throughout the year, but it's only going to get you more exposure and hopefully get you more and more listings. So any questions before I move forward into Prospect Square? No questions? All right, you guys are an easy bunch today. Okay, so let's go into Prospect Square. So Prospect Square is a really, really cool tool that we have on desk, and it looks like this right here. A lot of you guys know Prospect Square for reports. So you can generate 3 reports in here. You can generate an area report, a market report, and a quarterly report. Your area and your market report are going to go out monthly. Your quarterly report's obviously going to go out quarterly. It's a more robust report. And we're going to touch on those a little bit today. But really what I wanted to talk about is your newsletter option in here. So the newsletter is actually already set up for you and scheduled to go out. You have the ability to come in here and add content to it and edit it. But they already have articles that are in here and they will send out a newsletter for you every single month. But you're probably thinking to yourself, Brittany, I don't have any contacts in Prospect Square to send this news report out to. Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I'm going to tell you how to get contacts in here. Also going to show you how to take contacts from Moxie Engage and put them in here, as well as if you have a list from Kim for your geo farming that you've downloaded, you could put them in here as well. And I'll show you how to upload those too. But first things first, we want to make sure your profile is complete. Again, all the profiles and all the places, right? So under my profile, this is how you're going to make sure that all your information is accurate. So first name and last name, preferred name is going to be the name that you prefer. So like, for instance, we have Wes on here and he likes Wes Payne from the Pensacola Real Estate Campaign. So you might want to put that as his preferred name, right? Designation is going to be obviously realtor. And then your preferred email. So if your email is not the one that's shown, make sure you have your preferred email in there. Agent website, again, super important that you have a really great functioning website. So make sure you put your Moxie website in here. And the same thing, it's going to ask you like multiple agent websites. You're going to put your Moxie for all of these because your Moxie website is a search website. So make sure you put that in there. Preferred phone, you're going to choose. Obviously, we want to put our cell phone number in there. And if you want to put the office, you are welcome to do that. License number is not necessary in the state of Florida. We're not mandated to have that. Profile picture should be pulling in from your desk profile, but if it's not, you can always upload your photo, or if you've recently gotten a new one and you want to update that, you can.
Hey, Brittany, can I just stop you real quick? Did you
Yeah.
say that the 3 websites should all be the Moxie websites?
Yep, you
Okay.
are correct.
All right, thanks.
I would always drive people to your Moxie website because your Moxie website is linked to your Engage or CRM, and you want everything to be hooked to that, right? So that you're seeing those people go straight in there.
Okay.
Good question. Here's a signature, so you can choose your signature office, whatever office you're located in. I'm not affiliated to one, so it doesn't pull up mine, but it should pull up yours. If not, then go ahead and search for yours. A place for you to put all your social media URLs. So make sure you go in there and you paste them. You can connect directly to your LinkedIn and your Twitter through Prospect Square. And if you do connect these two on this platform, you can share the content. LinkedIn really likes PDFs and those types of links, so it'll link. And same with Twitter. Facebook doesn't really like the Prospect Square newsletter unless I'll show you how we can share it on there, but it just doesn't really like it. So that's why you can't connect it. YouTube, Pinterest, and blog. And then it'll have your office, your metro, your address. That should be all the offices. This probably is already pre-populated for you. It's just not on my end. Professional title. So for those of you that, maybe you're an RCC, Wes, you could do residential and commercial specialist. Or if you just want to put realtor, whatever you want to put there. Make sure your bio's in here, right? So your bio is important to be in here, and you can just hit edit and type it in here, or you can just copy and paste it from your desk profile. Or some of you guys have it on a Word doc. So however you do that. Time zone, you're going to want to make sure that you have the correct time zone. That way it sends out in the right time zone. So if we have it in a different time zone, it might send your newsletter out at like 5 a.m. And who's going to be reading that? Preferred language, English. I don't think there is another option at the moment. You can sync it with your contacts through Google, Outlook, and CV Office 365. So if you have contacts in Google, your personal Outlook or your CV Office Outlook, you can actually sync it and your contacts will flow in, which is super nice. So keep that in mind. And then any other languages that you speak that you want to add here, you could add. And then also, obviously, any designations and certifications that you've received, which are really, really great accolades. Make sure you have those all clicked on. And then this clients for life, you probably won't see that because we don't have that in our metro. So then you would just want to save and close any of the changes that you make in your profile. So that's step one with Prospect Square. Does anyone have any questions before I move forward with how to go ahead and grab your contacts from Moxie and load them in here? And then the reports that we can do. Questions? Comments? No? Okay. Crickets. I love it. All right. So newsletter is here. So first, okay, Brittany, I don't have any contacts in here. Maybe you have a few in here. I think I have 23 in here, but I know I have more in my Moxie. Brittany, how do I get my Moxie contacts in here? Or how do I get that really nice Excel spreadsheet that I got with the geofarming from Kim in here? Because I want to add them to my newsletter. Well, the first step would be to click import export. So this would be if you already have the list on your computer, you can import your contacts by clicking next and finding the file on your computer. So if you have a geofarming file or you have an old one from Cole Realty, you could upload those into here. But if you don't have a file, you can either get with Kim and start by getting a geofarming file, right? Because that's amazing, that amazing program that they have. Or if you do have contacts in Moxie, we are going to have to go into Moxie and grab them. So I'm switching over to MoxieWorks. I'm going to let this load, and I'm going to need to go into Moxie Engage. So that is not me. Sadly, that's not what I look like. This is one of my amazing RCCs from down south, and he lets me ghost his profile sometimes. So I'm going to, of course, ghost my Wes Payne because I love Wes. And he lets me use his stuff. So we'll use Wes as an example here. So here's Wes's profile in Moxie. So I'm going to go to his Engage. And he's got all his people in here because they came from either In Touch or he's loaded all his contacts into Engage. So what I want to do is I want to grab those people and I want to take them into Prospect Square. So I'm going to click on his people tab here in Moxie Engage and click My People. And it's going to take me to his entire database, which I know Wes's database is very, very large. He's got 12,000 people in here. He does a lot of farming because he's amazing like that. So if I wanted to take all these 12,000 people to Prospect Square, all I would need to do is select all and export. And I would always want to export it as a CSV file to my computer so that I can go ahead and upload it into Prospect Square. You can also do mailing labels from here. I don't know if you knew that. And then you can also have a custom Express Docs file loaded here, so you could take it to Express Docs and also send this them like postcards or whatever. So keep that in mind. So you'd want to choose the CSV file, and then it's going to download to your computer. I'm not going to download all of Wes's 12,000 contacts to my computer, but that is the steps that you would take, and then you would just save the file to your computer. Any questions so far before I move on to the next steps? Pretty clear? Wes, thanks for being the real MVP. Yes, Kelly.
Always here to help.
I had a quick question for the contacts that we have in Moxie. Some of mine came from the old Cole, and so it might have a phone number but not an address. Is there a way to weed those out, or should I just import them all to the newsletter?
You can import them all to the newsletter, but they probably won't funnel in because they don't have an email address, but you can try. I would possibly, Kelly, if I were you, I'd go through your Moxie and reach out to those people individually and ask for their email and say, hey, I just would love to send. It's a great way for you to touch them. You know, maybe you haven't touched those people in a long time, but to say, hey, this is Kelly Eddins, your local realtor. I'd love to send you my newsletter. It comes out once a month. Can I please have your email address? And that'll weed out the like serious ones versus the ones that maybe don't want to hear from you.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a way to like reach a couple people a day too. Any other questions? No? Okay, cool. So we're going to pretend that I uploaded or exported my list. I know a lot of people too. One of the big things that I get when I sit with an agent, a new agent, maybe that has left another brokerage recently and came to us because, you know, we're amazing and there's no other place to be. But they'll say like, Brittany, I don't want all my contacts in the database. Like I'm never gonna really get them out. You can, you just saw me do it. So just FYI, you can always export your contacts out of any program that we have. We don't lock them in. All these like people that tell me all the time, Caldwell Banker stole all my people. No, we did not. You just didn't know how to use the technology. But that's why I'm here. I'm showing you how to do it. Okay, so we've uploaded them to our computer. I've saved them into my files. So I would also, here's another thing. I'm going to tell you this too, a little secret. I would always save things, even though it's saving it to the OneDrive, save it to your computer. Like your contact should always be your computer, your PC. You can save them to the OneDrive. The OneDrive is owned by Anywhere Real Estate. So if you are in the conspiracy theory that we own all your contacts, please don't put them in there. Put them in your documents. Okay? So put them in your documents. All right. So that's that. So we've got them out of Moxie Engage, or we've gotten a list from Kim. So what we need to do is we need to confirm that we have the rights to the contacts. If you bought them from Kim through Sunbelt, then you have the rights. They're in your Moxie Engage, you have the rights. So you're going to confirm that and you're going to hit next. Then you're going to browse your computer to upload the file. So I have one saved here, and it was under, I think March, maybe. Moxie March, maybe. Yes, Moxie engaged people from 3/27/2023. Okay, so let's just pretend this is Wes's list. So I'm going to double click that, and it's going to bring me to this screen. Okay, so pay attention. This is super, super important because I was doing this with someone this morning and they told me they were paying attention and they weren't, and they didn't do the right steps. So right here, you're going to see it says display name, first name, middle name, last name, suffix. So if your Moxie template or your geofarming one loaded in, you're going to see that there's going to be a ton of blank columns, but it's really, 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 really important that you pull down the field and align first name with first name. I know it sounds redundant. I know it sounds stupid, but just map these out, okay? So for display name, you can choose, I don't think they have display name as an option, so you can just choose title for display name. Middle name, so put middle name, oops, middle name. So just follow along, make sure these columns are mapped out correctly, okay? Last name, and then I'm not going to map out the blank ones or the ones I don't really care about. I really just care about email and address. So here is the email, so I'm going to do, this is the primary email because I know it is. This one's saying custom date. That does not match. That's okay. Just make sure it matches here. And then there should be like phone number maybe. I don't have phone numbers. So perfect. So those are the only ones I really need to care about. If you have notes or anything like that, you would need to click notes, right? Go ahead and map these out as best as you can. Just make sure you for sure have last name, middle name, and email mapped out correctly because email is all we need for Prospect Square. Does that make sense? Because somebody told me yesterday in a call, and then we got to the next step and they didn't do this. So this is very, 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 very important. Okay. So then we're going to hit next. And it's going to say we will not import emails that already exist in your contact list. So you cannot do duplicates in here. They will crawl your list, and maybe you have like an updated email for that person. They will upload the updated email, but they will not upload any emails that already exist. So it's going to ask you in this next way how you want to handle duplicates. Do you want to update existing contact details for mapped fields only? Unmapped fields will not be updated. Do you want to replace entire contact record, or do you want to ignore any duplicates and do not import? You're going to have to make that choice. It's a big choice. Then you're going to hit next. And then it's going to ask you if you want to import it into a group. So this is important too. So I probably would put it in a group, right? So you want to make sure you know where all these people are coming from. So if it's a Kim farming list, you would want to put, create a group, and let's call that group whatever that farm neighborhood is, right? Like if it's Carrington Lakes, right? You would put Carrington Lakes. If you did it from your Moxie Engage, I would do Moxie Engage contact list from March 2023. Keep yourself organized, right? And then I'm going to hit next. And you're going to see that I'm going to have, when I hit next, that nothing's going to import because all these people are already in my contact list, but that's okay. So then it's going to click finish to import, and it's going to tell me that total number of contacts processed 4. I had 2 invalid records. Total number of contacts failed to import 2. Total number of contacts imported only 2. So I already had some in here and some failed. So Kelly, to answer your question, if there was no email address in here, those would be under the failed ones. And you can actually see the contacts that were not imported and why. And you can also download the contacts that were not imported, which is nice. And then I'm just going to hit OK, and it's going to take me to my contact list. Does anyone have any question about that? I'm going to go country on you. No? Okay, cool. So let's move on to the newsletter. Let's come into the newsletter. Let me show you how to edit the newsletter and add people to the newsletter. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to look to see when the next one's going to come out. So the next one is available, the next one's going to schedule out to go out tomorrow. I can edit 7 days before the date. If the first time sending the newsletter, please adjust your newsletter settings above and customize the current newsletter by clicking edit. Okay, perfect. So currently right now I have 0 contacts that have been selected to use to get my newsletter, and I have only 1 day left to edit my newsletter. So if this is something you guys want to do, you're going to have to get on it pretty snappy. So I'm going to click newsletter settings. And then the general right here is going to be the groups of the people. These are the people that are going to get your newsletter. So if you want them to get your newsletter, you have to click on these groups. See why groups are important? Okay. I don't want anyone to get my newsletter because I don't send newsletters out, but just showing you. Preferences. So custom header image. Add a custom header that can be added to showcase your brand and personality. So you can add, if you created something maybe in Canva, or maybe you got something through Design Concierge, or you just wanted something pretty to put up here, you could add a file. I know Wes has one that's really cool that he adds to his newsletters, but you have to confirm that you have the rights to use it. So you have the ability to toggle on featured listings. So these are going to be like newest, oldest, highest, lowest. So the newest is going to be any listings that maybe you have currently right now, plus whatever in the office that's the newest. You can also market areas, so you can browse like Pensacola area if you want to, if that's where you want, or if you're in multiple, maybe you're in multiple MLSs and you only want to showcase Destin, you could do Destin. So just keep that in mind. You can choose different market areas for listings. And then you can turn on social media sharing as well. So if you want to share it to your Twitter and your LinkedIn, you can. Any questions about that? Any questions about that? No? Okay. So here's my April newsletter that's going out tomorrow. It's scheduled. I can edit it or I can opt out. So let's just pretend this is super overwhelming, Brittany. You're giving me really bad anxiety. I cannot do this newsletter in 1 day. I just can't do it. That's fine. Opt out of the first one, see how it goes, get in here, play around with it, and then shoot for the May newsletter. Don't stress yourself out about it, okay? The 3 little dots right here are going to show you analytics. So the analytics of the newsletter. So once it's sent out, it will tell you how many were sent out, how many opened, how many people clicked through, what bounced, how many actually delivered. So delivered is going to be like it didn't hit the spam and it actually delivered into their inbox, and it's in their inbox, right? Open rate, how many people actually opened your newsletter, your click-through rate, how many people clicked into it, and then not delivered would be like either they unsubscribed or it just wasn't delivered for whatever reason. Okay, so that will be after the newsletter has sent. If you have had any past newsletters, if you scroll down, you can see the analytics and it'll tell you. I don't send any out, so that's why I don't have anything, but you should be able to see them. Okay, and you can see all the past newsletters too. But we want to edit this one. We want to edit the April newsletter. So here's the April newsletter. So the newsletter subject currently is guest room tips for the warmest of welcomes. So this is the newsletter intro text that you can edit to be personalized. So this has nothing currently. So I probably would want to edit this. Like, thank you so much for subscribing to my newsletter. My name is Brittany Moulton. I am your local expert. Blah, 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 blah. Call me today. Thank you. Okay. So make sure you go in there and edit it. I would probably change the newsletter subject because if this person gets a lot of newsletters, you might want something a little bit more sexier to grab attention. Just my opinion. Display order. So set your preferences to what you want. So there's two ones that you can choose. You can choose a local level. So we actually have the ability as the field admin team to add stuff to y'all's newsletters. Like, so if you send me articles that you really like, I can add those to the local content. Or you can just keep it national and it's going to be all the articles that are already loaded in for you. So currently right now it's got the blogs coming in from coldwellbanker.com. So it's talking about the guest room tips, wallpaper, and let's stand together. So you can see the preview of the blog. So guest room tips for the warmest of welcomes is 1. We've got wallpaper with personality, 2. And then we've got let's stand together to make unfair housing history. So there's those. You could also add different links too if you wanted to. If you had links to like your own blog, you could add those in here. Here's the market update. So you can feature a maximum of 6 properties or remove listings to customize your newsletter below. So I actually met with someone last week and they said that the listings that were populated in here were like super old listings that they had sold like years ago. So I called Prospect Square and I found out that they're trying to make this more streamlined, but at the moment, whatever it pulls in is what it pulls in. So you might have to come in here and customize these. So if you have multiple listings on the market right now currently that you want to add to be showcased here, you are going to have to add the property by going in here and searching for the property or choosing my office's active listing. So you can either search yours or add your active listing. So you should have active listings here that you can click on. I don't because I'm not an agent, so I'm not connected to the MLS. So you're not going to say anything in mine. Same thing with office listings. So if you don't have any active listings, you could choose 6 to showcase. Hopefully that makes sense. Real estate news. So you could add a market area for that area. So like, let's just pretend this newsletter is going out to everybody in Cantonment. So you could choose a market area in Cantonment and actually come in here and edit that area. Here's the local content. So right now this is talking about Siesta Keys. Obviously my local is pulling in from down south. So I might not want to use any of this local stuff because it's not going to relate to me, but you're not going to see this in yours. Mine's just pulling in from down south. You can also test the email to yourself. I will tell you that we're a little late for testing at the moment. It takes about 24 hours for you to get a test email. So if you send yourself a test and then you forget to come in here and edit anything, then it's going to go out the way it is. So test would be like ideally a week ago, right? Then it'll ask you who you want to send to. Depending on your settings, you might already have these all linked, or you can just browse contacts one by one. You can add them by group, or you can add contacts one by one, and then you can turn on your sharing. So you can share it to Twitter and LinkedIn once it populates tomorrow. Any questions about that? Let me go back. Any questions about your newsletter? No? Okay, cool. All right, so let me show you what else we can do in Prospect Square since we're already in Prospect Square. You can do property emails in here. So if you've used Listing Concierge uses Prospect Square to send out your emails. Emails is part of the Listing Concierge package. the listing concierge coordinator comes in here and creates emails for you. So you might see some emails in here that they've created for you and sent out. So just keep that in mind. You can create property emails in here. You can also look to see your past property emails that have gone out for listing concierge. The update reports are in here too. I'm not sure if you guys see this button. You might not see this button. This might just be because I'm part of the field admin team. This is the update that goes out every single week with listing concierge for all the homes that are on listing concierge. That's the update report. Analytics is going to show you your history of what you've sent out. So you can see all reports, area report, market report, quarterly report in your newsletter. So you can take that all the way back for the last 6 months. You can look at the analytics on these reports. So if you have people set up on area reports, market reports, quarterly reports, you can look at the data to see, are people opening them? Is it a waste of your time? Are you spending a lot of time making these reports, right? Some of these reports you just set up and kind of forget, but you can look at the analytics here. The newsletter is an important one. I think that one is one that I would definitely spend my time in. I think a newsletter is a great soft touch. Groups, this is where you can group people into groups and change groups. So here are all my groups. So I can come here and edit the name of the group. I can also delete groups if I needed to. Reports. So this is where you can go in and you can create an area report, a market report, or a quarterly report. And then you have report settings. So if we click on report settings, this is going to be your the settings for each report that you have, basically. So if you click new right here, it's going to show you all the reports. So here's the new report settings. So the area report right here, the area report cover photo is currently this one. Yours might look a little different. You can add a new cover picture to the area report. Why can I not talk today? And you can either attach that as a like a JPEG or whatever from your computer. So an area report, let's just pretend you're doing an area like Pensacola. You probably want to choose a picture that's like more Pensacola looking, right? Maybe the beach ball or the beach or whatever. And then this is the text that goes into the area report when you first send someone up, and this is all editable. So if this is very generic, it says welcome to area report, an exclusive call banker report that shows you can make this more you. That sounds very robotic. You can use Chat GPT to create something, since all you guys are really excited about the AI intelligence that we have. And create like an area report intro. So say that you need an intro for an area report and see what they come up with if you can't come up with words. Follow-up intro. So here's the next one. So once you sign up for an area report to one of your contacts, they get it every single month. So the first one is going to get this initial welcome. And then here's your latest. So you can change this language. Market report. This is the picture that I've chosen it. I've chose, and you can change it as well. So you can attach files if you'd like, and add your own. But that's the one that I have so far. Same thing with this, you can change. So, and they have different intros for buyers and sellers when you set up a market report. So that's kind of cool. Again, I would use Chat GPT for this if you're not good with words. And then same thing with quarterly report, you can edit this too. Any questions so far on the report settings before I go into the reports? Okay, so area report is going to be like a specific area. So if we go in here and we hit new, everything is new. You're going to name the report. So let's name it pool time.
Hey, Brittany, Olivia just asked, how can we use ChatGPT?
Oh, ChatGPT, you have to go to their website. It's called ChatGPT. There's another one called, I learned about the other day. It's called Tiny Wow. These are AI intelligent companies that you go in and you type in, like, I want to write a bio about myself, but my name is Brittany and I have brown hair. And they'll write a whole bio around you being Brittany with brown hair. If you don't have words. I know that ChatGPT, you have to create a profile and it's a little bit more involved, but I guess Tiny Wow, you don't. You can just type it in and you don't have to sign up. Those are just AI people that are really, really huge right now in the real estate community. Good question. I threw that in for my Panama City Beach folks because they're so on top of it with their AI. All right, so tool time class is what I'm naming this report for the area. For contacts, I can either come in here and browse and I can add all my contacts onto this, or I can search if I'm just looking for like Thomas, because Thomas is looking for a tool time class email. And then here's your market area. So you just browse by clicking browse. And you can either go by county. So like I'm seeing Bay County and I'm seeing single family homes on Mexico Beach or Panama City, or you can search. So if you're looking for a specific area, you can search in here. It's going to be connected to whatever MLS that you are a part of. So just keep that in mind. So if like you're not a part of Pensacola and you're trying to send market area reports from Panama City in the Pensacola MLS, it's not going to show up because you're not a part of that MLS. It's whatever MLS you're a part of. Hopefully that makes sense. So once you choose your market area, then it's going to ask if you want to this is not my favorite report. The market report is, and I'll show you why. This one is a little bit, it's good, but it's not my favorite. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Copy agent on report. I always say yes. If you're sending out a lot of these reports, you could be getting a lot of emails, but also if Thomas calls me and says, hey, Brittany, that email you just sent me, the first property on it, 12345 Main Street, I really want to go see. And you're like, Thomas, I have no idea what you're talking about. How dumb do you look? So I always say yes, even though I know you guys get flooded with emails. That's just me. Report enabled means that it's going to continue to send to Thomas every month as it updates. So this is the initial report subject line. So it's going to say area report from Brittany Moulton to Thomas, area report from Brittany Moulton to Thomas. So you might want to change that. So then you can preview it. Oh, I got to add a market. Hold on. I didn't add a market because I will just do Bay County, Panama City Beach. So I'm already picking on you guys. So now you can add multiple ones. So I can add another one if I wanted to. I'm just going to keep Bay County, Panama City, and I'm going to preview. So this is what the report's going to look like. Again, if you wanted to change the cover of this, you can. And then it's going to say, Dear Thomas. And remember, we can change this language by going to the report settings. So it doesn't need to be so robotic. You can convert this report to a PDF and attach it to an email. You can also add it to your Moxie presentation in a PDF. You cannot share it on Facebook because Facebook does not like PDFs. You can view it in a browser and grab this live link. So this link is live now. You can share it to social media by clicking share to social media. It'll tell you the social medias that you can connect, and Facebook is one, which is nice. You can contact me. So if you're sending this to someone, if they contact you and they fill out this information, it'll send it to me, my email, and I can forward it to a friend. So I can email it to a friend too. So those are your options. This is the report. So this is going to be Panama City Beach, February 2023. Remember, again, I told you this is a monthly report. So this is going to be last month as we're still in March. It's going to show you real estate snapshots since this time last year. Number of sales, listings, and average days on market. It's going to have new listings in the area. It's going to have solds, medium sales price, price as a percentage, blah, 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 blah. Again, not my favorite report. There's not a lot of pretty pictures. It's very analytical. I'm not an analytical person, so this is why I do not like this report that much. But I know it's very important because it's got good meat and potatoes, and it'd be really great for a specific area that you're farming. That's the first one. That's the area report, okay? So once you're done, then you would hit save and send. It would send the report to Thomas for February. It would send him February's right now if we hit save and send. And then it would send him out March's once March's is available. I believe their reports are available on the 5th day of every month. Okay, so the next one is the market report, which is my favorite because you can get as granular as a subdivision. So we use this one a lot when we're building out farm areas with your Moxie website. We come in here and we pull a market report. So same thing, we're going to hit new. We're going to name the report name. This one I'm actually going to name Carrington Lakes, which is my subdivision. I'm going to show you why. So once I did that really fast, but when I click into the criteria, it's going to open this up. If you're part of multiple MLSs, this is how you would switch between MLSs. So I'm going to switch to the Pensacola MLS. And instead of doing a radius by an address, I'm going to do a map search. And again, I'm going to change that to Pensacola MLS. Perfect. And then what I want to do is I want to move this map out of my way, and I want to come in here and I want to find my neighborhood. So you're going to have to know where your neighborhood is located. This is taking me down south. It's not where I want to be. So let me go up to the map. Okay, so you got to know how to manipulate the map. So I'm just coming in here and finding my subdivision, which is up here in Cantonment. There it is, Lakes of Carrington. Okay, so this is the subdivision that I want to do an area report on. So if you're farming a specific area, this would be really perfect. So I actually want to draw this. So I'm going to use my polygon because the only other two options I have is a square and a circle. And most of the time, these aren't square. They're kind of weird shaped, right? These neighborhoods. So you're going to click the first point. Here's my second point. This is actually going to kind of be a square, but let's just do it, not a square. And that's going to be the name. So I'm going to name it Carrington Lakes and hit OK. So then it's going to give me all the details of this neighborhood in the last 180 days. You can change this. So if you don't want to go 180 days back, you can display search result to like the last 60 or 80 days or 90 days, whatever. I'm going to keep 180 because it's a very small area and hit OK. Sometimes if it's a bigger area, you might have to take it off from 180 to like 60 days back because there's just too much information. So this report can get super granular. It can also be a little bit more macro if you want it to be. Totally up to you. And then for contacts, you're going to have to browse a contact. Let's add Bernadette. I don't know who that is, but we're going to add Bernadette in here. And then is Bernadette a buyer, a seller, a prospect, or an investor? So buyer is going to be this person's looking to buy in this area, obviously. Seller is going to be the person lives in this area and they potentially might want to sell their property. Prospect is going to be maybe it's just somebody in your farm area. You don't know if they're a buyer or seller. And then obviously investor. So I'm going to choose prospect because that's safe. Report title, Carrington Lakes. Oh my goodness. And then intro, this is where you would write, blah, blah, blah. My name's Brittany. Hire me. I'm the best agent ever, right? You can hide automated market value. So it'll give you like an automated market value. I would hide it just because I don't trust anyone. Send frequency. So you can send this out 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, 30 days. You don't have to email the report. So maybe you just want to pull this to share to your farm area. You can do that too. You don't have to email it. I would send it out. Let's send it out every 30 days. Let's send it out monthly. And then maximum number of listings per report, you can give them all the way up to 200. I'll do 150. Copy agent on report, I would. That's just me. And then for this report to expire, so when do you want to stop sending it to Bernadette? So you can take this all the way out to like the end of the year if you wanted to. So let's take it out to August or September, end of September. And then again, initial email subject line, you might want to change that. So let's preview this report so you can see what it looks like. So this report is a little bit more involved. It pulls data from the MLS. Again, we can change this whole intro, right? Look at my hire me, Brittany, because I'm the best. So here's the snapshot. So it's going to tell you this is the Carrington Lakes as of 3/27/2023 as of today. Their average days on market are 147 days. There is 10 listings currently in this area for sale. Newest listing came on 2/7. And the shortest, longest, 48 days versus 387 days. So average days on market, 42, right? So it's giving you a live app for sale, off market, sold. And if I scroll down, it's going to give me that same like snapshot of statistics, right? But it's also going to give me active listings for sale that I can click on and look at. So let's look at this one. You see how when I click on that, it's still branded to me, so they don't go anywhere. So it's showing you this listing is still active. If I click into it even more, I can go into the pictures. There's only one picture, but that's kind of cool, right? Solds in the area. So this would also be great for a CMA if you need a deeper dive in the CMA that the Moxie maybe isn't giving you as deep of a dive. You could use this or the MLS. Local inventory. So this is going to be what's local in this area. So if I clicked on, oh, this one looks interesting. It'll give me all the information and I can always look at, it's always linking me back to me. Even if I click here and I look through the photos, why do these people only have one photo? It's really making me frustrated. So yes, so it's because it's a new build. These are all the ones that are currently on market. And again, I put all the way to 150. So, and of course, they always have the click here to unsubscribe on all these reports. So if they don't want to get them anymore, they don't have to. But the great thing about this is if this was your farm area, you can convert it to a PDF and email it, or you can click to view in the browser and just use the link. Is there a question?
Yeah, I actually have one, Brittany. When someone clicks unsubscribe, do you get notified on that contact unsubscribing?
You don't, you'll just see it in your Prospect Square in the analytics.
Gotcha.
And they
Kelly
will
also
no
had-
longer get the emails.
Okay. Kelly also had a question.
Yeah, Kelly.
Not me, I'm good.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, can you tailor this to a specific price range if you're sending it out to a prospective buyer?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think the only filters are the areas. I
Okay.
don't think it's a price range. Let's see. Edit. See. Active sold. Yep. Price.
Okay.
You can.
Great.
Yep. Listing price, property type, price, list price, 2 and 2.
Yep. And that was under what? Edit.
This was
search?
under the actual criteria. So I just went back into the criteria and I hit edit
Okay.
and it pulled up that polygon that I had made.
All right.
And above it, right here, where it says 180 days back, I just opened up this field under status fields and I scrolled down to listing price and property type.
Very good. Thank you.
I guess you can even get as granular as your built bedrooms and baths too. So you can filter it even more down. All right, good questions, good questions. So once you're done with this one, then you would hit save and send if we wanted to send it to Bernadette. I don't want to send it to Bernadette. I don't know who that is, so I'm just going to hit cancel. And then the last one that you can send obviously is the quarterly report. So it's going to be a quarter report that goes out. So I'm going to go ahead and press new. Report name, let's just name it full-time class. Contacts, let me put someone in here so we can pull it. Let's do Ashley. Hit okay. Market area, we can browse. And again, this quarterly report, since it is a little bit more of a robust report, it's going to give us a little bit more of a macro level than micro. So the one that you can use for micro level is that market report. And it's not wanting to load on my end. Is it frozen on your end too?
Yeah, it is.
I think because it's just so much data. Okay, so this one's not going to pull up on my computer. It's going to make my computer crash. So I'm going to close out of that one, but it's the same steps that we just did. Just know that it's a quarter report instead of a market. Like you can send this market report every 30 days, every 7 days. The other one you can send once a month. The quarter is going to be every quarter, so every 4 months. Does anyone have any questions about Prospect Square, how to set up their newsletter, any of the changes on Listing Concierge? I feel like we covered a lot today in a very short amount of time. Kelly, you have your hand up. Is that because you had your hand up previously? Nope, it wasn't Kelly. It's Sarah that has her hand up.
You answered my question.
Gotcha. I lowered it for you. It said Kelly had her hand up. That was weird. No wonder Nick thought Kelly had her hand up. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, Brian has his hand up.
Hey, my friend.
Hello.
Amazing job though on this.
Thank you.
I definitely want to rewatch it though. Will this be recorded
Yes, sir. All of them are recorded and then will be on my YouTube channel.
on yours? Okay, thank you so
Yep.
much, Britt.
I'll load it by the end of day today, so you should be able to see it. Good question. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining Tool Time. If you guys need anything from me, please don't hesitate to reach out. Wes, did you have a question?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I just thought you would want to talk to me.
I've just been sitting here getting educated.
I like it. I like it. All right. Well, if anyone needs anything, you know where to find me. I will put the recording up on my YouTube channel. If you need to schedule a one-on-one to talk through this even deeper, I'm available. Otherwise, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Thanks, Brittany.
Yeah. Have a good day.